Hello, and thank you so much for joining me today. I have another inspirational instructional card for you today, tutorial. Uh, this one is using DSP. So if you feel like making a quick and easy card, then grab some DSP, your paper trimmer, and your favorite stamp set. Doesn't really matter which one. You can do as much with this card or as little with this card as you want, but I'm going to show you a really quick and easy way to make some cuts to create your DSP card. Okay, so the cards or the stamp set that I've chosen to use tonight or today, it's actually in the middle of the day, is the Beauty of Friendship. And then I'm also going to be using a die cut from it as well. If you are joining me live, I would love for you to say hello. I already have my card base cut. This is basic white, thick, and I have cut the full sheet at 5.5 along the long side and then creased it at 4.25. Which is just in half again, so I'll set that aside. I'm going to be using Night of Navy ink, and then I'm also, because these colors coordinate with the DSP, I'm going to be using a Bumblebee marker and also a Cajun Craze marker. But again, that part is totally optional for what I want to teach you. So let me grab my trimmer in here. And I'm going to take a piece of DSP that I have cut to, or I'm going to cut. It's 12 by 12. So I'm just going to cut this to 5.5. Now it's worth taking a look at the other side. I'm actually going to use the other side for the base. So I'm going to cut this at 5.5. Okay. Actually, no, that's not what I'm going to do. Sorry. I almost made a mistake. So I'm going to cut this at 4.25. 4.25. Okay. And then I'm going to turn it around and cut it at 5.5. So that's going to cover the entire front of my card base. 5.5. Now, I'm not going to remove this away. What I thought to myself was, okay, so if this is at 4.25, then that means this is 4.25 also. And so 4.25 across the long way, across the 5.5 side is, let's see, it's a whole 1.25 inch smaller than your card base. So then what I do is I take 1.25 inch off of the vertical distance of my card, the horizontal distance of my card, or vertical, if I'm going to do it this way, is 4.25. So I'm going to take 1.25 inch off of that. So that's going to end up being 3, because it's normally 4.25. So I take 1.25 inch off. I'm going to cut that at 3. So all of that to just explain why I'm cutting that at 3. Okay. So now I have a 5.25 by 4.25. So remember, I took that big strip off, that big piece of 12 by 12, I cut a 4.25 inch, and then I turned it this way, I cut it at 5.5, and then this was attached, and I cut that off at 3. I'm so sorry. I ate some almonds right before I came on, and probably shouldn't have. Okay, so I'm going to use this beautiful, like, blue sky watercolor look, and then I'm going to use the printed, the busier part in the center, and see how perfectly that fits, because I cut this middle piece 1.25 inch smaller on both ends. So I'm done with my paper trimmer, and I have a piece of paper, a scrap piece of paper that is 1 inch wide, basic white, and so I'm going to first trim the ends, and you could trim the ends with your scissors. You don't have to you don't have to have this punch, but when I do use this punch, I like to use it upside down, make sure that I have my paper in there. So this punch has 2 different designs on it, you can see, flag designs, and I like to make sure that I've got my paper centered nicely in there. You can cut 1 inch, 3/4 inch, and 1/2 inch strips according to the guides that are in here for both sides. So it's like getting 6 punches. All right, so there's what I'm going to be using for my greeting. You're not going to believe how quick and easy this card comes together. So I'm using the You truly inspire me. Greeting from that beautiful friendship. And I'm just going to try and get this on here straight. Like that. And then this is going to go on here somewhere like that. So I'll go ahead and use my trimmer again to cut that off so that I know I'm getting it nice and straight. Okay, so I want about the same amount of white space on both sides. And this length doesn't really matter. You can end up using any length to suit whatever greeting that you've chosen. And then I'll be taking some ribbon. Get this out of the way. I don't want to get glue on that. But this might be helpful. My silicone mat. And I've lost my tape runner. What have I done with my Stampin' Seal? Oh, you guys, I just used it. Does this ever happen to you? Do you ever lose things that you just had in your hand? Why? Always check on the floor because I drop things all the time. Oh my goodness sakes, it's like completely gone, but I really want to use it, so I'm just going to grab a new one. Maybe I don't have a new one. Maybe I only have refills. Oh no, here's a new one. And don't feel bad for me because I mean, you could feel bad for me because I lost my tape. It will show up. Don't feel bad about me opening up a new one. I've been wanting to have a second one open anyway. Oh, there it is. I see it now. Yay. Okay, so I'm going to take, let's just get that started a little. 3 pieces, maybe 4, of tape and just put it on the back there. And then I'm going to add this ribbon along one end. And I want this to show out the end like that. Actually, I'll fold it back this way. And then, so I want it to show out the end, not too much, maybe about 1/2 inch or so. And then down here. So I'll grab my ribbon scissors to make that cut. And again, I would so love it if you're joining me live, if you would say hello, or even if you're watching the replay, let me know that you've tuned in and what you think of my DSP idea. Also, if I've inspired you to create today, that you would show me what you have decided to do on your own. So let's go ahead and get this glued down, and then I have something really fun to show you with the die cut. So this beautiful friendship suite has a really nice, actually, I don't know if it's a suite. Yeah, it's probably a suite because it has paper. Suite that has some really neat tree die cuts. So I went ahead and cut this small tree in some shimmer paper. So I used the shimmery white cardstock and I cut one of those. This is also ready to go on here. It's going to go right in the center. Right like that. All right, now for the fun part. Okay, so here, actually, I think that looks really cool. These would be easy to mass produce. It has the beautiful ribbon on there, so it has your embellishment, it has the beautiful DSP, so it's, completely colorful and bright and coordinated. So a lot of the work is done for you, and then whatever greeting you would need, to suit whatever it is that you need to make a card with. And so I would consider this done. Okay. So, however, I'm not done because I always like to do a little bit of crafty thing on my cards. And so here's the crafty part. So I'm going to create like a watercolor effect on this die cut. I'm going to take my bumblebee marker and I'm just going to scribble a whole bunch of marker color on this block. Let's see, what size block is this? This is the E block. And now I'm going to take my Cajun Craze marker and just add some little splotches of Cajun Craze. Okay. And now I'm going to take my spritzer that's filled with water and add just a spritz or two of water and let that blend a little bit, let the color kind of run. And then I'm just going to place this down and I'll grab my tweezers. You can pick it up with your fingers, but very cool, huh? I'm going to dry that and we're going to do that a few times. So that I can get a nice look of watercolor on here. So let's pick up some more color. And now I'm starting to get some of that splotchiness that I love in watercolor. And let's do it again. All right, I like that. So cool. All right, so this is just going to go behind my greeting right there. And then I'm done. So the tree could be glued down flat, and then I'll use some dimensionals. So let's go ahead and do that. So, do you have any product that you've been neglecting that has coordinating dies or just, dies and paper that you could combine, unloved DSP that you haven't been using, and could you make some cards? Or could you make a batch of cards using several different sheets of DSP, maybe from the same pack or multiple packs, creating a little gift set of cards that you could make for someone. Oh, I kind of got that. All right, so see how I got little splatters of color on there? I don't know if you see it, but I did. And so now I'm just going to have to embrace it. So I'm going to do a little marker flicking and get a bunch of splatters on there. And go ahead and do it with the bumblebee as well. And this is how I get rid of mistakes. All right, I like that. Let's go ahead and get this on here with some dimensionals. Oh, I picked up dimensionals that are kind of empty. Well, this particular time must not be a very good time for joining me on the live. There must be other favorites on at the same time. And I don't normally come on this early in the day, but tonight I have to sing, so I need to get some practicing time in. but I can't practice too close to the time I'm going to leave, otherwise my voice gets tired. Okay, so there's my idea for you. If you have a stamp set that you feel like you need inspiration with, then I would encourage you to try this technique with your DSP and your die cuts and give it a go. And by the way, this idea came from the annual catalog. I did find it in the annual catalog. It is a great source of inspiration for me. All right, if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, I hope that you will, and that you would give me a thumbs up on today's video if you found anything useful or pretty. And until next time, happy stamping, everybody.